You're in a relationship, but something feels off. Your instinct tells you that something is wrong. She seems quite reserved when you ask about her past or casually mention other men's names during a conversation. If you're looking for a trustworthy relationship, you might be about to fall into a trap, but I'm here to help you avoid it. If you want to know if she has had multiple sexual partners, just observe certain signs. These indicators will provide you with clear clues about her past. Remember, it's not about making judgments, but about finding the ideal partner who won't play with your feelings and will commit to a lasting relationship. So, stay with us until the end of the video and find out if it's worth investing in this relationship or if it's better to break ties as soon as possible. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. She's not easily surprised. If you notice that nothing seems to surprise her, whether it's a romantic surprise or a spicier conversation, this could be a sign that she has had many similar experiences. This blasé behavior might indicate that she has seen it all in her past relationships, making it difficult to impress her or make her feel truly special. This can be frustrating, especially if you're trying to build something unique and meaningful with her. Additionally, this lack of surprise may manifest in other aspects of the relationship. If you plan a special trip, buy a carefully chosen gift, or make a romantic gesture, and she reacts indifferently or without much excitement, it could be a sign that these experiences are not new to her. This may leave you feeling undervalued, as if your efforts are unappreciated or as if she's just going through another routine situation. In more intimate conversations, if you try to share something personal or vulnerable and she reacts without surprise or much interest, this might indicate that she has heard or lived through similar situations before, which can diminish the emotional connection between you. Finally, this attitude could reflect that she has become more cynical or disillusioned with love and relationships due to a past full of unsuccessful experiences. This may make it harder to connect on a deep level, leaving you feeling like you're competing with ghosts from the past, rather than building something new and exciting together. If this lack of surprise becomes a pattern, it's important to talk with her about your expectations and feelings to see if it's possible to overcome this emotional barrier. Number 2. She has a very diverse social circle of men. If you notice that she maintains close friendships with several men, and these friendships seem very important to her, this might raise suspicions. Having friends of the opposite sex is completely normal, but if she is constantly in contact with multiple men and seems more comfortable with them than with women, this could indicate that she has a rich sexual history. Also, observe how she interacts with these friends. If there are subtle flirtations or intimacy, this could be a sign to consider. Moreover, pay attention if she prefers to hang out with these friends instead of spending time with you, or if she avoids bringing you to social events where they will be present. This could indicate that she has a different dynamic with these men, which she might not want you to discover. Another point to consider is whether she has maintained these friendships for a long time or if they are more recent relationships. If the male friends are all from different periods of her life, this could suggest that she has had various close relationships over the years without settling into a consistent social circle. Finally, evaluate how she reacts if you express any discomfort with these friendships. If she becomes defensive or minimizes your concerns, it might be a sign that there is something deeper going on. Number 3. She frequently makes jokes about sex. Humor is a great way to create connections, but if she constantly makes jokes about sex or mentions sexual situations casually, this might indicate that she has a casual view on the subject. This attitude might reflect past sexual experiences where sex was seen more as a recreational activity rather than something deeply emotional. While this type of humor can be fun, it might also be a sign that she doesn't take sex as seriously as you might like. Additionally, this behavior could be a way to mask or minimize the importance of sexual experiences in her life. She might use humor to deflect attention from any discomfort around the topic or to avoid deeper, more serious discussions about the meaning of sex in your relationship. This can create an environment where you feel hesitant to express your own emotional needs and expectations regarding intimacy, fearing that your feelings won't be taken seriously. This approach can also make it challenging to build a deeper emotional connection. If sex is treated lightly or as something easily discussed in a joking manner, it may be difficult to establish intimacy that goes beyond the physical. You might start to feel as if sex is just another aspect of the relationship, lacking the depth or vulnerability that comes with a true emotional connection. This lack of seriousness can be an obstacle if you value sex as an expression of love and commitment and expect her to view intimacy similarly. If sexual humor becomes a constant in the relationship, it's important to reflect on how it affects your own view of the relationship and openly discuss your expectations and values with her. Exploring these issues together might help you both find a balance where you feel respected and understood in terms of your emotional and physical needs. Number 4. She is very secretive about her phone usage. Your partner's phone suddenly becomes her most prized possession when you are around. She makes a point of keeping it face down, quickly changing the screen, or being extremely discreet when answering calls in your presence. This behavior may seem suspicious and make you question whether she is hiding something. There could be various reasons for keeping her phone away from you. She might still be in contact with ex-boyfriends or simply want to ensure you don't have access to her message history or past photos. When you ask to see her phone, she may overreact, interpreting it as a lack of trust on your part. This can put you in an uncomfortable position, making you feel unable to question her about the phone. Before drawing conclusions, consider that there might be a different or logical explanation for this behavior. Everyone is entitled to privacy, and some people are naturally more protective of their personal space. Perhaps she has confidential work conversations or simply values her private time for browsing. However, if the relationship is strong enough, there will come a point where there will be no need to hide anything from each other. Give things time to unfold and see if she changes over time. Otherwise, you'll be fully justified in reconsidering the relationship after clarifying her phone activities. Number 5. She frequently compares you to previous partners. When a woman is in her first relationship, she is unlikely to make comparisons with other people since you will be her only reference. However, if she has had several partners in the past, it's likely that at some point she will compare you to her ex-boyfriends, whether intentionally or not. How can you tell if she is comparing you to her ex-partners? She might mention that the steak you cooked is better than what she used to have with her ex. Or she might comment on how an ex loved an activity you've never suggested. In a discussion, she might compare your flaws with those of her ex-boyfriend. These comparisons, no matter how subtle, can make you feel insecure. It's important to remember that these comparisons are not your fault. Someone who has had multiple relationships might eventually make these comparisons. You need to make it clear that you're not willing to be treated as just another name on a list. If she continues to compare you to other men, consider ending the relationship, showing that you won't accept being just another in her life. Number 6. She feels extremely comfortable with physical intimacy. The first intimate moment between you was more concerning than wonderful. Yes, you expected it to be amazing, but it turned out unexpectedly intense. She seems very comfortable and confident in intimate situations, which might indicate that she has had many previous experiences. If you're wondering why you feel this way, let me explain. If instead of you taking the initiative, she acts like someone with a lot of practice, it could be a sign that she is experienced. She doesn't hesitate to embrace and kiss, but she's also open to bolder or even unusual moves, accepting whatever you suggest. If your instinct tells you she has a lot of experience with physical intimacy, this might be a sign you shouldn't ignore. However, it's important not to jump to conclusions. She might naturally be more expressive and skilled in bed, so it's essential to look for other signs to ensure she's the right partner for you. Number 7. She avoids emotional closeness. Sometimes, even the strongest man can feel emotionally vulnerable and seek his partner to fill that void. A spiritual connection and emotional support are crucial in a relationship, as they help couples get through tough times together. But what happens if your partner doesn't match your need for emotional connection? A woman who has had multiple sexual partners often exhibits this behavior and avoids emotional closeness. How can you tell if she is genuinely avoiding an emotional connection? If you try to have a deep conversation and she prefers to keep things superficial, quickly changes the subject, or avoids discussing feelings, she may be avoiding emotional intimacy. If you feel that your efforts are in vain, it might be time to reconsider. However, it could also be a sign that she is naturally more reserved or has been emotionally hurt in the past. Perhaps you should give her a bit more time before making a decision. Number 8. She is excessively independent. Independence is an admirable quality, but when it manifests almost to an extreme, it can raise some red flags. If she constantly claims that she doesn't need anyone and resists letting you get emotionally close, it could be a sign that she is used to superficial and transient relationships. Women who have had multiple partners over time might develop a tendency to keep others at a distance, avoiding creating deep emotional bonds that might make them feel vulnerable. This stance often serves as a protective mechanism, a way to avoid getting hurt or involved in something that requires commitment and emotional investment. This need to maintain independence at an almost absolute level may reflect past experiences, where she might have learned that relying too much on someone can result in pain or disappointment. While this attitude might be understandable, it can also represent a significant obstacle in building a solid and lasting relationship. After all, healthy relationships require a certain level of interdependence, where both partners support each other, share vulnerabilities, and work together to face challenges. If you notice that she avoids discussions about the future, is reluctant to share important aspects of her personal life, or insists on solving all problems alone, it might be time for a frank conversation. It's essential to understand whether this excessive independence is a conscious choice or a barrier she has built to protect herself. Ask yourself, is this independence healthy, or is she compromising the possibility of a deeper connection? If, despite your efforts, she continues to insist on maintaining emotional distance, it could indicate that she is not ready or willing to invest in a truly meaningful relationship. Number 9. She shows lack of interest in discussing sexual health. Talking about sex can be uncomfortable, but it is a crucial topic, especially concerning sexual health. It's essential for a couple to discuss these aspects, as it ensures that both are aligned on safe sexual practices and opens up space for communication about sexual desires and needs. If she never shows interest in discussing sexual health, it might indicate that she is hiding something, leaving you wondering what the reason could be. Her lack of interest might be related to her past. Having multiple partners can increase the risk of sexually transmitted infections, and the fear of transmitting them to you might lead her to avoid the topic. She might also fear judgment about her sexual history or the contraceptive methods she uses. However, sexual health should be addressed regardless, for the benefit of both and to get clearer clues about whether she has had multiple partners in the past. Therefore, be direct and make it clear that these topics need to be discussed for the relationship to continue. If she seems scared but starts answering your questions, this could be a positive sign. But if she becomes defensive and offers vague answers, it might indicate that she is trying to avoid the truth, making it easier for you to make the difficult decision to move on. Number 10. She tells vague or inconsistent stories. An important sign that she might have had multiple sexual partners in the past is inconsistency in her stories. After months together, if you still can't be certain that she has clearly shared her past and the things she mentions seem vague or contradictory, this could be a red flag. For example, she might tell you one story one day and provide a different version on another occasion. These inconsistencies could include mentioning names of different men, talking about a long-term relationship and then claiming she has never had a serious relationship, or describing a hobby shared with an ex that doesn't match her current interests. It's important to remember that not everyone likes to revisit past relationships. Some people may prefer to focus on the present with you. However, if the lack of clarity or contradictions leave you feeling insecure or suspicious, it's advisable to address the issue delicately. What can you do in this situation? Have a candid conversation with her about these issues and ask her to clarify her past. If she is genuinely interested in the relationship, her response will be more meaningful than her words. If she opens up honestly and fills in the gaps with sincerity, this is a good sign. But if she continues with inconsistent stories, it might indicate that you should reconsider the relationship before your feelings are hurt. Remember that decisions like this shouldn't be rushed. Relationships require time and open communication. Give it enough time and observe if her stories become clearer over time or if she starts sharing her past with more transparency as trust develops. Number 11. She frequently cancels plans at the last minute. Have you noticed that she frequently cancels plans at the last minute? These changes of plans can be as frustrating as a volatile market. Have you wondered why this keeps happening? It's understandable for plans to be canceled occasionally for valid reasons, But if it becomes a pattern, something is wrong. Additionally, observe if she always provides vague excuses for these cancellations. She might claim that a last-minute meeting came up, but surprise meetings don't happen that often. Or she might mention that a friend arrived in town but avoids giving details about who this friend is. Don't let her manipulate the situation this way. It's clear that something is being prioritized over the relationship with you, and this shouldn't be ignored. It's important to remember that everyone has busy lives and unexpected things can happen. Maybe she has a demanding job with unpredictable hours or a friend who needs support during a difficult time. However, if these last-minute cancellations are becoming a constant and you feel undervalued, it's necessary to have a serious conversation. Again, communication is key. Approach her calmly and ask why plans have been repeatedly canceled. Make it clear that this is unacceptable to you and try to resolve the situation together. Number 12. She is extremely conscious of her physical appearance. In addition to being reserved with her phone, she might show an exaggerated concern for her own appearance and yours. She may spend a lot of time getting ready, constantly check her reflection, or frequently compliment others' appearances while taking pride in her own. While taking care of one's appearance is healthy, this obsession may signal that she has had experiences with attractive men in the past and now believes that valuing appearance is relevant to her sexual history. An excessive concern with her own appearance or that of others could indicate that she is more focused on the superficial than on the deep. In extreme cases, she might even compare her appearance with that of an ex or anyone she sees on her phone. If, instead of discussing topics that require emotional depth, she occupies herself with superficial comparisons, you have the right to question why. Even after a serious conversation about the issue, if she continues with these superficial discussions, make it clear that this makes you feel insecure and ask her to stop. Otherwise, it might be better to consider ending the relationship before it's too late. Remember, some people are naturally more concerned with their image. If her behavior doesn't justify her history and you have clarity about it, it might just be a personality trait she needs to accept for who she really is. Number 13. She avoids introducing you to her friends. Meeting your partner's friends is a significant step as it provides an opportunity to connect with important people in her life and be integrated into her social circle. But what if your partner seems hesitant or avoids introducing you to her friends? She might constantly give excuses or change the subject whenever you bring up the topic. This behavior is a clear sign that she might be hiding something relevant about her life. When a woman is genuinely involved in a relationship, she wants to introduce you to everyone. Only when there is something to hide does she try to avoid these introductions. She might fear that a friend who knows her past will reveal information about her sexual history, or might have had a relationship with one of these friends and doesn't want you to know. If she avoids talking about her friends or dismisses the topic lightly, it might leave you confused or even make you feel undervalued, as if you're not important enough to her. Regardless of the reason for hiding her friends, this shouldn't be ignored. Perhaps talking directly with some of her friends could provide a better understanding of who she is, or simply discussing the matter with her, treating this conversation as crucial to the relationship's continuation. Number 14. Her priorities change and exclude you. When we enter a relationship, our partner becomes one of the most important people in our lives. They become a priority. This is typical behavior. Therefore, if she makes you feel excluded, or if her priorities don't include you and you are constantly relegated to the bottom of the list, it might mean that she still has other people attracting her attention. While it might sometimes seem like there are valid reasons for her priorities, this is not always the case. For example, she might start spending all her free time with new friends, neglecting plans you made together, or prioritizing activities that make you feel excluded. This can indicate whether her priorities are genuine or if you simply aren't a priority for her at the moment. If you have noticed many of these signs along with this one, it's likely that she has had multiple sexual partners in the past. Remember, the goal is not to judge her, but to assess your ability to accept this reality. If this is too much for you, it's time to say goodbye. Never make hasty decisions. If you notice some signs, there is always the possibility of an alternative explanation. My advice is to give the relationship some time, get to know the person better, and assess if she could be a good partner for you. At the same time, Never settle for less than you deserve. If you're looking for a long-term relationship with a deeper connection, don't give a chance to someone who is playing with your feelings. Remember, you are a person of great value. In summary, we have seen that identifying signs that a woman may have had multiple sexual partners involves observing a series of behaviors and attitudes that can provide clues about her past. First, if she shows a lack of surprise regarding romantic gestures or novelties, it may suggest previous exposure to many similar experiences, indicating that she has encountered similar situations in past relationships. Secondly, a diverse social circle, especially with many male friends, may indicate a rich and complex social life, possibly reflecting a history of varied relationships. Additionally, if she makes frequent jokes about sex, this could reveal a more casual and less emotional approach to intimacy, possibly reflecting past experiences. Another sign is reserved behavior with her phone, which might indicate that she is hiding something about her past or interactions with ex-partners. Frequent comparisons with previous partners and extreme confidence in physical intimacy may also indicate extensive sexual experience. A tendency to avoid emotional closeness and excessive independence may reflect a protective stance against deep vulnerabilities, possibly developed due to past experiences. Lack of interest in discussing sexual health, inconsistent stories about her past, and frequent changes in plans may suggest that she is avoiding sharing important details or prioritizing other issues over the relationship. An excessive concern with appearance and refusal to introduce you to her friends may indicate a focus on superficiality and an attempt to hide relevant aspects of her life. Finally, if she constantly changes her priorities and makes you feel excluded, this could be a sign that your emotional investment in the relationship is not reciprocated. While these signs can help assess the situation, it's crucial to remember that decisions about the relationship should be made with care and open communication. Evaluating these behaviors can help understand the relationship dynamics better and make an informed decision about the future together. To conclude, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for joining us in this in-depth analysis. I hope the information shared has been useful and enlightening, providing a broader perspective on signs that may indicate a person's relationship history. Remember, regardless of the clues you observe, open and honest communication is key to any healthy relationship. If you have doubts or concerns, it's always worth discussing them openly with your partner. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you success in your quest for a truly meaningful and satisfying relationship. Until our next video.